you're angry about it or you want it so badly that you have to have it. It's...
I had no idea that was the growl. Hi everyone, welcome back to Between the Sheets, Audible's Romantasy series. I'm your host, Brooke Averick, and today I'm joined by the one and only Teddy Hamilton.
Hello, Brooke.
Hi Teddy, thank you so much for being here. So let's get into it.
Romantasy rendezvous.
Teddy Hamilton, welcome to my bed.
Hello, Brooke.
You are one of the most prolific Romantasy audiobook narrators that I know of personally.
It's been a wild ride.
Yeah,
I agree.
I bet. You narrate so many of the greats. Xaden from Fourth Wing comes to mind.
Xaden from Fourth Wing, Hunting Adeline.
Wow.
Is a big one.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Which one do you think you get like the most attention for?
I get very different kinds of attention from those two. Fourth Wing, you get a lot of the romantasy.
Right.
A little bit more, whereas Hunting Adeline is... They really like unhinged Teddy.
What is unhinged like?
Unhinged Teddy is where the very nice guy has now hit his limit, and it's murderous and psychotic, basically.
Wow.
That's unhinged Teddy.
Okay, well, I hope to meet him one day. Maybe not today, but one day. I'm curious. How did you get into this?
My sister. She started doing audiobooks. Somebody found me to do a romance book, and then that kind of started the ball rolling.
There's a big question on Book Talk when the main character either like purrs or growls.
Yes.
That is used a lot.
Yeah.
What do you do when you read that out loud?
I mean, it's the moment. It's whatever the moment
Yeah.
is. That's the way that it works. It's need and it's want.
What about the purr? Is it the same thing?
There's the, there's the mine.
You are transforming in front of my eyes.
Sorry,
I'm like in shock.
I'm like, hey girl, did you know about
Hey, how are
mine?
you? Yeah. Do you ever like blush or get like nervous when you're reading these scenes?
I certainly blush when I'm talking about these things.
Yeah.
There used to be a time when it was all new, and I would blush.
Yeah.
I would blush so much, and I would like have to stop for a little bit. But then after doing it enough, now it's every once in a while an author comes along or a character comes along that surprises me.
Really?
And it's so romance where it's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Have you had one recently?
I was just doing a book called Tusk Love. It's a romantasy. It's a half orc meets a half elven girl, and they fall in love, as you do.
As one half orc does with an elven girl, yes.
And it was a beautiful story. That's another thing that does get to me too. You know, the sexy parts are nice and fun, but it's also nice when the people who are having the sexy parts are people who you can really sort of love.
Yeah, and
That
like care
makes
for
sense.
each other. Are there a lot of people in the room when you're doing those kinds of scenes?
Yes, sometimes. I just did a book where I had not only a director, but also an engineer running it, and there's just two dudes and me sitting there reading naughty books to each other, and like they'd stop in, I think maybe we need a little bit more growl in that moment. Oh, thanks, Brandon. Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Wow, it must be hard if there's someone who's like not familiar with the space.
That's where then you see them blushing.
Yes, I think that would make me more nervous.
Yeah. It's fun for me though. I like.
Okay, good. You like surprising people.
I like surprising people. Yeah.
What parts of like the romantasy storylines do you get the most excited about narrating?
There's two different parts that I like the most. I always like, obviously, the happily ever after when everything kind of works out in the end. And maybe kind of similar, there's this aftercare that will happen post sexy times, post spiciness, where then you just get to breathe a little bit. I like to really get the engine going and really make sure that the energy is there until it absolutely is at its top. And then I really like the fall down afterwards, where then you can kind of be softer.
Yeah.
And you can
never thought about that.
Sweet with each other.
I guess I haven't considered how much of it is, it's an acting job.
It's an acting job. These are stories that people care about.
Yeah.
So it is important that I take care of them.
Do you have a favorite character that you've ever voiced?
To be honest, Xaden was pretty cool. The last one, Onyx Storm, blew me away, not only with the book itself, but also where I had to go to narrate it. It was such a big moment in this story that when I got out of it, I was like, phew.
Had to shake Xaden off
I had to shake Xaden off a little bit.
Yeah, he's like the most intense character in general, and like in that chapter, it's like a scary place to go.
Yeah,
So congrats on that. It's a big feat. Okay, last question I have for you. Some people like to listen to their audiobooks at 1.5 or 1.75 speed. Do you think that you could read sped up to us?
Yes. The only problem with that is you take this moment out of the book and you pull it out of the moment by adding the speed, because you'll have, something like, I felt the fire in my spine and then I like a rocket launcher. And it turns into, I felt the fire in my spine and then I like a rocket launcher. It's just too much.
A little bit of a different mood.
It adds a different move.
So would you recommend speed, just like speed 1 for those types of scenes?
I'm never going to tell anybody how to enjoy their books. There's different reasons why people listen to books, and there's different needs that meets. And so you're not going to hear the greatest that Teddy has to offer.
You're not going to hear Teddy's growl.
Yeah, the growl will turn from to but.
And maybe that's the purr.
Maybe that's the purr. Listen the way you want to listen.
That is beautifully answered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Romantasy ranks.
Okay, so Teddy's going to read me some one-liners from some beloved Romantasy audiobooks, and I'm going to rank them just based off of how they make me feel. Ready?
I'm ready.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm ready.
Here we go. The first time I saw that look on your face, you were still human. Still human, and I nearly went to my knees before you.
I love when they go to their knees.
That was from Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Silver Flames.
That makes sense. For now, a tentative 2.
All right, I'll give you a tentative
pending.
2. His lips smiled against mine. Careful, princess. That's Carissa Broadbent, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, Crowns of Nyaxia series.
4, because I don't really love princess.
Coming up next, My House, My Chair, My Woman.
Let's do 1 for that one.
1 for
Yeah,
that one.
that's
You know what
Xaden,
that is?
right?
That's Xaden.
Yeah, I remember the context of that scene, and it's a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
Did you say that when you were narrating, or you didn't get to that part?
Nah, but now I did.
Yeah, now you did, and that's all that matters.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I am coming to love him in 2 different ways. Face to face and word to word.
Maybe I'll do that as 4, because it just didn't do anything for me, and I'll bump princess up to 3.
Actually, I think that was
You
probably
like that
my
one?
number 1. Yeah, I think that one's
Wow.
mine. I like that.
Is it the groan?
It's the groan. No, I like the careful princess. I like that.
You like the princess.
Yeah. So you have Iron Flame, Court of Silver Flames, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and Letters of Enchantment.
I feel really good about that.
It felt good.
Yeah.
Good girl.
Thanks.
Finish that line.
Okay, Teddy, we're going to play a game. I'm going to give you these cards
Okay.
that have some well-known quotes from Romantasy books. Some of them maybe you've even narrated, who knows? And I'm going to see if I can finish the line, because I know you're a Romantasy expert, but maybe I know a little something too. Here you go.
That sounds like fun.
And don't be afraid to get into character.
Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm addicted. And I will gladly cross every single line if it means making this girl mine. If it means forcing her to be mine. No matter. She won't be able to escape me now. I've just found myself.
In a situation. I've just found myself in a situation that I wasn't expecting, but I'm embracing it and ready to call this girl mine.
Sort of. If you were H.G. Carlton,
Yes.
you would have written, I've just found myself a little mouse, and I won't stop until I've trapped her.
I was close.
You were close. I mean, that's the situation.
It's exactly. What is
Yeah.
that book?
That's H.G. Carlton, Haunting Adeline.
And you did that one, right?
I did that one,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you remember that line?
I remember that
Wow.
one. That one's actually, I think, gone viral, too.
I would imagine, yeah.
Attempt number 2. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember how long we talked, but somewhere amidst her laughter and her smiles, I decided...
That was slightly murderous.
Yeah.
So I decided I wanted to tie her up. Is that not it?
That's not it either.
What if you said a little bit of it?
I decided I would.
Kill her?
It's close.
Okay.
Close.
Okay.
I would rip
Rip her apart. Rip her to shreds.
So close. I would rip the world
apart to get to her. Rip the world apart to save her.
For
her. Yep.
Yeah.
Got there.
It was close. You got there, though.
Yeah.
You got
that was
there.
a good one.
So that is Amber V. Nicole.
Okay.
Was the author of the Book of Azrael.
Okay, I haven't read that one yet.
Here's a new one. You ready?
Yeah.
You need to get out in the practice ring more, brother, Cassian told him, surveying his friend's powerful body. Don't want that mate of yours to find any soft bits.
This is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, this series. So Cassian is probably talking to Reese here.
Soft.
Maybe something like there's nothing soft about what's happening
You're
here.
on the right path.
Yeah.
Don't want that mate of yours to find any soft bits.
She will do no such thing.
She
never finds any soft bits when I'm around.
And then you have
Got
to
it.
end.
Reese said. I knew that one.
Okay, so I got to put on my female voice for this.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited for that.
We're just like sitting on a bed together.
There's like girls having a sleepover. Yeah.
What I am is an adult woman with agency and the tools to make choices. Feel free to,
Off and call me later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Off and call me later. Submitting my answer.
Treat me accordingly.
That is, well.
Allie Hazelwood, Bride.
Oh, I read that.
How was my performance of that?
Awesome.
I got like bad bitch energy.
Yeah, very much so.
Good. That's the last one.
That was fun. I loved that one. I'm going to do better next time, though. Teddy, thank you so much for joining me in my bed. I had such a blast.
This was fun.
What's new in Romantasy?
All right, it's time to dive into my Audible library and trade titles. Here's what's making me blush lately. I just finished listening to Bride by Allie Hazelwood, which I loved because that was my first time really exploring the werewolf universe, which I think is called the Omegaverse. And there is something that happens there, like when you get to the spicy scenes, that I did not know about, and I'm not going to tell you. It's something that you need to figure out on your own, and I encourage you to do so by listening to Bride. Okay, next I finished Onyx Storm on Audible. If you love the series, you're gonna love Onyx Storm. It's a part of the whole world, so how could you not love it? And I would recommend listening to this one on Audible. The version is very dramatized, and it makes the listening experience so fun. Okay, here's one that I'm excited to listen to. It's on my TBL to be listened to, Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book I have just seen all over BookTok. It's probably the book that I've seen the most of, and I've heard a lot of comparisons to The Hunger Games, which is my favorite series to listen to. So I have got to listen to this one. Like, it's not an option. I'm doing that the second I leave here. Lastly, I have got to listen to Crescent City. It is the only Sarah J. Maas series that I have not listened to yet, and I don't have any excuses anymore. And that's a little bit about what I want to listen to this summer and what I've already listened to. Well, everyone, it's time for me to curl up and get tangled up in some romantasy. That's all for today's Between the Sheets.